Okay. Mm.
Well, welcome.
Hey.
Interviewing this today, Kelvin Uchemefune, and this is taking a new track because for the last little while I've been interviewing South African authors, and I'm still going down that route. But we are now extending our borders, and very excited about the fact that Kelvin is coming to us from the UK. So we are now international.
Hey,
So very excited about that. But you know what? We can't go international without being still feeling a little bit African. So before we launch into your book and understanding a little bit more about it, we get to know you a little bit. And so, Uchemefune, that is not a very British name. Okay? You have African roots. Tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you again for the invitation there, Leigh. Really appreciate this. I would say Uchemefune is 3,000 miles away.
Yeah, that's how
3,000
far.
miles
Hey?
away. Absolutely. So I'm from Nigeria. I grew up in Lagos, Nigeria. All my my young days as a child. And only just moved to the UK in 2008. So I think it's a big 12 years now away.
Right.
And, it's a long time, but I get the pleasure of traveling when I want and having getting to see friends, family, and it's a good time. So I grew up in Lagos, Nigeria, where we had only two kinds of weather. It's either raining or it's not raining.
and also a huge city.
Oh yeah.
And where are you living now?
Now, so now I live in the city of Portsmouth. Portsmouth is 2.5 hours away from London. It's a quiet suburb.
A different world to Lagos.
Oh yeah. A distant cry from the hustle and bustle of the city of Lagos. They say you live in Lagos, you can live anywhere in the world.
It's a lesson. It's a life lesson. You can live anywhere once you've been in Lagos. I love that.
Oh yeah, it's a life skill on its own. You get a
there
life
you go.
Skill, it can take you anywhere.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Kelvin, one of the things that I find fascinating, and even now as I'm recording this on Zoom, and I've been on a couple of calls with you, and you have your name, Kelvin Inspires. And I just would love to know, what is it about inspiration that is important for you?
Wow, great question there, Leigh. All of my life I've had big dreams or big ideas of things that I wanted to create with my life. And sometimes when you look at your reality, you look at the dreams, you find there's a huge gap. Wow. You could be dreaming one day, daydreaming, and all of a sudden life just slaps you and wakes you up. Wake up. So for me, I've been, all my life, I had these big dreams of things that I wanted to create. I've always enjoyed having conversations with people, inspiring, motivating, and just encouraging people. And lo and behold, I got to a point in my life where I needed that encouragement. I needed to be inspired. I was living below my capacity. I was operating from a point, I call it a viewpoint of, is there oil? Is there more to life? Is this it? Is this all I signed up for? Almost like reclining and giving up on myself. So, I was in a job in a bank for 7 years and just doing enough to get by, just living life. I was married, living in a nice bungalow, and felt like that this is all there is to life. And then one day it hit me real good, and I just couldn't do anything. I just got completely tired of everything. Like, what is this? Is there more? Can I do more? And I had the privilege of sitting down with a life coach, and he sat me down and looked into my eyes and asked me some really powerful questions. And those questions were the beginning of a transformation in my own life. And, you know, I walked away from him and I went home and just cleaning the table, and the thought dropped into me to be a coach. You know, it was like a eureka moment. It was my own moment of, yeah, I could do something. I could create something. And so that it felt like an inspiration. It felt like I was cold water was just poured over my body, you know. And I became alive again. And since 2014, I've been, you know, on this journey of inspiring people who were just like me, who were struggling, who were operating from a place of fear, of victimization, or a place of, you know, you have more, but you're just doing as much as you can when you should be doing all that you can. You know, living life full of excuses and blame game, and you know, the society or the system is working all the nonsense and the stories that we tell ourselves. That, you know, I was there, so I know what it feels like. And so my mission is to inspire people, because just a little bit of hope, a little bit of inspiration can change a whole game, can change a whole life. And that's why Kelvin Inspires. It's a dream for me. It's a mission.
That's amazing. And I love the amazing thing that what we received is what we want to give.
Yeah.
It becomes that transformative moment, or that defining moment that says, this has made a dramatic impact in my life. How can I now pass this on to others? And you've done that in your book. So you've now not only taken this moment of transformation in your own life to become a coach, and you're also a John Maxwell trainer and leadership consultant, but you then have condensed a lot of your learning, a lot of your life experience into this very clear steps in the book, ReVIve, you know. and I just love that ReVIve. It's the life that you're talking about, isn't it? ReVIve. And then there are these six steps to read.
6 steps.
Your life, 6 steps to read your life. And you actually talk about in your book, one of those steps is action.
Yeah.
The book is an illustration or demonstration of that, isn't it? So tell me about how did it come about?
Yeah. You know what? This message, or this concept has been with me since I started learning how to become a great speaker as of 2016. I used to say to friends that I got invited to speak in New York in 2016. And when I came back, I went into a training school because I knew there was something more. You know, I knew I was still not delivering the best that I can. I wasn't getting the kind of results that I wanted. And so I said, you know what, let me invest in my own personal development. Let me invest in my own public speaking, talent. This talent is unrefined. Let's work on it. And I remember I spent about, £2,500 and on a 4-day training. We had no breakfast, we had no lunch, we had no dinner, but we were in a hotel room from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. watching Lion King. I know. He crazy, right? For the whole day, he was dissecting the movie for us and, showing us how we can tell our story in a powerful way that can captivate any audience. So just in case you think you're good, there's always more. There's always more in all of us. And that's what I believe in. So I remember going through that training and he asked a powerful question, which is, what is it that you want to share? How can you share your message in a powerful way? And for me, I remember walking out of that 4-day training with these 6 steps. If I can teach anybody, whoever, anywhere, just 6 steps that can change your game. And that's where you got, the 6, the authenticity, you got the attitude, the action, and all of the rest of it. That it just came out from that concept of having to, when I go into schools now, secondary colleges and universities, and I do a talk, I show clips of Lion King, Leigh. I show it to them that, this is something that can change your game, change your life. And when you realize all of us, whoever we are, at one point in our journey, we meet a guy or a woman or a man or a woman called Rafiki, the ape, the monkey, that, the film Lion King, and he takes his stick and he hits Simba on the head. Whew, where you going? What are you doing here? And Simba's like, he's just living the right. He says, well, I know your father. And Simba's like, what are you talking about? He says, I know your dad. And he takes him to a lake and shows him a vision of himself. Now, the reality is all of us are operating at a low level. At one point in our lives, we meet coaches, we meet great men and women who say, come a little bit closer, Kelvin. I know there's more inside you, Kelvin. Have you looked deep into your ocean of your heart? Have you searched within the confines of your giftings and talents? Have you explored everything? Have you looked deep down? And so when I tell my story, it's like I have to, everybody, and I know traces of my life sitting down with that coach in that day, and he says, Kelvin, I know there's more in you, Kelvin. I know what you've told me today is not all that there is in you. There's still some things that you're unraveling and you need to just give full expression to. And if you look at your life, Leigh, there might be some way along the line, someone's belief in you, someone's word of encouragement spurred something inside of you. And today you're out there delivering at the highest level possible. So what I'm saying is the whole concept came out from that hope that, I could just summarize it in 6 steps and just share it with people that you don't need 1,000 things to do. It's just need to know how to get a few things better. Do a few things well and get yourself going.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And then this I love the story of the story. Or these 6 steps came to you, and then you had to actually say no more excuses. And in the matter of a few hours, you had something that had been sitting in your head for a long time. Suddenly it was done. Also a powerful part of it is that there's that step of action has to translate the ideas, the inspiration into something tangible. And you have this book. I can only show you my Kindle.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't have Kelvin's book because I'm sitting in South Africa. I'm sitting in South Africa and Kelvin's sitting in the UK. So how was I going to get his book? We have this wonderful digital process. It's real now, isn't it? I think that's the point I'm trying to make, because it's real now. And how does it feel to take something sitting in your mind and now it's in the hands of people, and what does that feel like?
I know it's surreal. It's surreal because I remember in 2015 I started writing and I wrote about 10,000 words down. Sorry, 2018, 10,000 words down. And I shared it to someone who said, oh, this needs to be done, that needs to be done. And I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. I just chucked the book away. When I have more time, I'll get on with it. And then my business partner challenged me during the COVID lockdown in April and said, Kelvin, where's your book? Go get your book out. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want it in anyone's hands right now. He says, well, go get the book and work it out. And so he shared some things with me, and I remember walking away. And in 2 weeks, I had written 27,000 words in a space of 2 weeks, just by some encouraging words and some advice. I just wrote it down, And now it feels like, wow. I remember going through the editing process and changing the words. I spent a whole day on it. The kids, stay away. The wife, please give me a minute. I need to get this done. And now, when I look at it, it's everywhere. It's in South Africa right now with you. It's in Nigeria. It's in the States. It's here. People are leaving comments and reviews. And it just feels, it takes me back to the day in 2014, sitting back with that coach, sitting back there when I felt completely lost, like I was doing nothing. I felt dissatisfied with my life. It takes me back there and says, wow, actually my life has changed. I'm moving forward. Sometimes we can't tell because we're in the frame. We got to step outside sometimes and say, hold on a minute. I've moved from working in a bank, dissatisfied, to doing my own business, to having great conversations with leaders and CEOs, and writing a book that is around. Leigh, I don't know how to encompass that.
It's the life. It's the life, isn't it? And it's the fullness of life.
It's the fullness of life.
As you say, it's so good to step back every now and again, and just to get the full picture, where I was to where I am now, and how satisfying to see how it's progressed. But what really struck me in your book, Kelvin, is as you're talking now, you constantly go back to what it was like, or the difficulties, the stresses, in each one of these 6 steps, you almost start with saying, I did not do this. I struggled in this area, and you begin with your story of, I'm not a superstar. I didn't get, I wasn't born doing this. As amazing as Lagos was, I'm not, and it just so, and that's obviously a very intentional part of your book, is to share very personally and in the matter of being vulnerable people. So what is it that made you share so deeply of your own struggles?
Yeah. I used to struggle with vulnerability. I used to struggle with being open because I don't want people to see me too much. Don't see my failures. Just stay away. And I remember when I started speaking, I was speaking from a place of, I've got everything figured out. Just come to me and I'll give you the solution. and it just put people away from me. And I'm trying to figure out why are you not coming? What's happening? Why, what's going on? And people just felt like, yeah, he's got everything, we can't get there. He's just way ahead of the game. And it was a big lesson for me, which is why I say, I share the story of going to New York and speaking and feeling, yeah, I'm good. And then coming back and signing off down because I realized something was missing. That rather than attracting people towards me, people were going away, and I couldn't understand that. And then when I sat down at this conference, I didn't go there for the public speaker. I just went for a different kind of conference. And this guy shared some really powerful story that everybody stood up. I felt captivated. I want to know this guy. I want to really connect with him. And half of all he was saying, he was talking about his mistakes, his failures, his the things that we don't share out in the public. And I went for, I signed up for his training to learn how to become a better speaker. And he talked about coming from a place of vulnerability. Now, it's even striking for me because when I joined the John Maxwell program, John Maxwell's message on leadership talks about vulnerability. It says, if you're not ready to become vulnerable, forget leadership. I'm like, what are you talking about? Leadership is authority. Listen to me, I instruct you. Says, no. It's the other way around, boy. leadership is about connecting. It's about making that first approach, that first connection. And so you see me now. This is just a growth process that you're seeing right now, because I had to learn how to become vulnerable. I had to learn how to share with people my mistakes, my failures, and recognize that there's power in my weakness. There's power in my vulnerability. I have a setting faith which I uphold. I believe, when I even read a story of Jesus in the Bible, Jesus got to a point where he, obviously going to the cross, he said, "Can this cup just pass me by? Can you take it away?" Vulnerability, as powerful as he was, yet he was so human. And this is why when I sit down with leaders, I say it's all about humanizing leadership. It's about understanding that we have weaknesses. The people we're trying to lead have tons of weaknesses, and we have got to be more compassionate towards them, because it probably took us a year to get there. It might take them more than a year, but just understand they're in the process. So for me, in everything that I do now, I recognize that as opposed to it showcasing my weaknesses, it speaks volume about my strength, my ability to be human, my ability to go to my center place and share my story, share my struggle, just with a single aim of inspiring hope to anybody listening to me, that I might be here today, you can be there also.
Yeah, and so it's that bridge, isn't it, between utterly relatable and identifying that we can identify and say, I've been there, or I am there. But as you say, it also then gives hope, because there are clear ways in which you have bridged that, moved forward, and it does show in your attitude and in your actions and in how you inspiring others. So it does make us realize, oh, I can do it. It makes it possible.
That's the message. This is a guy from Lagos. This is a guy who has come from not a silver spoon. My parents were working class, working the bank as well, but we didn't have everything figured out. We had, my dad, I share in the story, my dad had some problems. He couldn't keep up financially and become the breadwinner of the family. But I had a strong mother, a mother who was fearless, a powerful woman. In fact, if there's anything that gives me this sense of adoreness for women, is my mother. She inspired it is possible. She took all four of us to private universities in Nigeria, private schools. She was determined that we were going to have the best lives. We were not going to live a life, where she came from. We were going to live something different. And so she inspired me and inspired all of us to create something with our lives. And the energy you see that I have right now, it was inspired by my mother.
Well, go, Mom. I will definitely support that cause. I think we many of us can attest to the strength and the power, the resilience, determination of powerful, strong women in our. Thank you for that shout out. That's fantastic.
My pleasure.
Kelvin, what there's, your book is rich, it's full. You talk about 6 steps, and so it is about keeping it simple, but it doesn't mean that it isn't profound and that there isn't there's a lot to chew on, and you give questions at the end for people to ponder, to think through, to process, so that they can start doing the inner work themselves. But what is your hope? What is it that if somebody picks up your book, what is it that you hope that they will take away with them? Right.
Fantastic question, Leigh. A quote, I can't remember who made the quote, but the quote says, and I quote, human beings have, can survive 40 days without food, right? We can survive 4 days without water, right? We can survive 4 minutes without air. But for whatever reason possible, we just can't survive 4 seconds without hope. It reminds me of the story of my mother, my father-in-law's parents. They've been married for over 70 years, and last year they passed on to glory. The husband passed on first. He was sick. He died poorly, and just after you put him to the ground, the wife says, "No, I'm going with him. I'm done now." And the kids, my father-in-law has 2 other brothers, 3 of them were surrounded and said, "No, mommy, we want you here." She said, "No, I'm going. I'm going." "No, mommy, stay. I'm going. I'm going." And then a night after that, she said, rushed to the hospital. She's at a emergency, the emergency hospital, admitted because she was on life support. She just wouldn't, she's gone. They tried to resuscitate her. Stay. She said, "No, I'm going." And he was telling us the story quite recently, and he was in tears. We were celebrating her life. He said she just wouldn't stay. She had made up her mind. She called all 3 of them together and said, "I'm going. Your dad's gone. There's nothing here for me anymore." The human spirit, once we give up, it's gone. Once hope is gone, it's gone. So my goal and the desire of that book is that as you pick it up again, that hope can be inspired. For the man and for the woman, for the boy and for the girl out there who is at the verge of giving up. And as you pick up the book, you will find traces of yourself in my story. Because we're all cut from the same cloth and all have stories that are linked up some way or the other. That you will find traces and you would understand that I, Kelvin, am still here. I haven't given up, so that you can be inspired not to give up. And that is my story. That is my utmost goal right now, Leigh. That someone picks that book up and hope is inspired.
And hope. And what better time than this?
Oh, yeah.
So I think people are struggling, aren't they? And they think that the solution, that the hope will lie in their bank account, but the hope is actually the hope itself, isn't it? Is that when you have the hope, you find a way.
So true. You find a way. Someone said, whatever you want in life, if you are willing to ask 1,000 people, if you are willing to knock on doors and shout about your business, if you are willing to give up give up self, who you think you are, put that away and knock on doors and introduce your products around the street and say, "Hey, I've got a solution here. I've got a product here. You need to buy it." If you keep on knocking on doors, someone somewhere is going to be interested in what you have to offer. So the reality is we knock on 10 doors and we say, "Well, there's no market for me." We've got to keep going on. It's about hope, action. Let the hope in you inspire action. Let it inspire action when you get to the point where you feel like giving up. Go back again and knock on the doors. And that's why I share action. Don't just have hope. Take action on it. Ask the right questions. Get some help. Reach out to people around you who are succeeding. Tell them that you're willing to learn. Show that you are coachable. Show that you are mentorable. Show that you want what you say you really want. And for the man and the woman who will not doubt, nothing can stop them. Nothing can stop them.
Nothing. I love that. Nothing can stop them. Yep. Powerful stuff. Thank you, Kelvin. And as we sort of come to an end, I'm just thinking about another chapter in your book is deciding your future. So I wonder what is the future for you, Kelvin? What's ahead for you? What are you deciding about for your future?
Fantastic. One of the things I've been dealing with lately is having a lot of financial education. You know, I said to a few friends the other day on the phone that I worked in a bank. I was surrounded by money, surrounded by wealth, but surrounded by what I call opportunities, because money is opportunity for you. I was surrounded by it, but I never maximized the opportunity. I never took advantage of it. I never, because I was open, because as a staff, you get so much benefits and discounts that you could buy properties and you get discounts and mortgages and all of that. And I look at it, wow, I didn't take advantage of it. I didn't take advantage of the opportunities that were available to me. And that's what's happening right now. Even in the midst of COVID, a lot of people are ignoring the opportunities right here. I said to someone, I have saved more money than I have ever done before when I wasn't working in the bank. I've invested, I've saved more than ever before than I did when I was at the bank. So what happened? I realized that I was lacking in financial education. And so what I did was, and what I still do, my library is full of financial stories and books and investment advice. I attend seminars. I am here at this event. I'm trying to get into, to be able to be a good manager of my resources. When I'm a good manager of my resources, I have a great life. And it's down to me, so I'm taking responsibility. So deciding the future for me is playing at the highest level when it comes to financial education, engaging in that. So for me, in my own business, my business is growing in leaps and bounds, and we're looking to grow financially and buy as much as we can in terms of assets and develop that part of my life. Develop something I could leave for my children, even when I'm not here anymore. Create opportunities for them that I didn't have. And so for me, deciding the future for Kelvin Inspires is being a big player in the market, getting out there, and also educating people, educating business people, entrepreneurs who are just stepping into businesses and have little or no idea about cash flow, about creating passive income. That's my future. When you ask me, that's what I'm deciding right now. And I've just teamed up with a powerful business partner where we're creating a fantastic product, which will be out very shortly. But it's about empowering people to take charge of their finances and become more responsible. Yeah.
Wow. Well, watch this space.
Oh yeah, watch this space.
Much ahead. Exciting and inspiring, because whatever you put your hand to, Kelvin, is going to always be inspiring. And I think that's certainly what you have done in this interview, and you've inspired me, and anybody who listens to this is going to be inspired, and certainly their book. So anybody who wants to get hold of Kelvin's book can get it on Amazon, and we'll also put the details in the body of our recording, so that you can get hold of that book. Kelvin, I've just been this is one of those opportunities that we've had in lockdown.
Yeah.
How did we get to meet through a networking event, cross between people who are sitting in the UK, people sitting in South Africa, and I think there might have been a couple of other internationals, but it was mainly between those two, and still it was a call of about 20, 30 people, and I just said, okay, let's connect, and we did, and look what's coming out of it, so it is
fantastic.
Seeing those opportunities, taking advantage of them, and you never know, what's going to come out of them. But it's taking action, making something happen, and then trusting that as you've planted the seed, something amazing will grow. And so, Kelvin, I just wish you fantastic success. Your book has only just been birthed. And so I suspect it's going to grow and grow and grow, and that other books will now come along. And just
26 more, Leigh.
Only 6 more.
26.
26. Oh, so there's more space. Oh, lovely. You see, this is abundance in action. I love it. And so just wishing you every success, Kelvin.
It's been a pleasure, Leigh. You know, thank you again. And you're right. We just caught up at the networking event, and I said to myself, I need to contact Leigh. I need to, you know, also, and you had the same, you know, the thoughts in your mind to connect. And it's been a wonderful pleasure getting to meet you. And you know, it's all part of the process. If we don't take steps, we never know where we're going to be. If I never did, I won't be here right now. And so it's a pleasure to get to meet you, to learn about your story, and also wisdom that, you know, that you run. Fantastic. You are doing fantastically well, and you are a force to reckon with. If you're watching this video, Leigh is a force to reckon with.
Thank you, Kelvin. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye now. Take care.